Hey guys, and welcome to another video. If you watched my last video, then you saw I just picked up this new to me Old Town. This is the ePDL. So it's the Old Town that has the like electric bike motor in it, you know, like e-bike kind of thing. But anyways, it's got the normal pedal drive. You can pedal it forward to go forward, pedal it backwards to go backwards. Of course, you got your rudder right here. But inside of that unit, you have your motor. So I'm gonna turn this camera around and do a walkthrough. We're gonna get it rigged and then we're gonna go fishing. So starting at the front of the kayak here, you have your hatch. Of course, it's an open hatch. You can get in there, run wires, do anything that you need to do. That's pretty standard on most kayaks. You have two plates right here. You can do anything you really want. You can mount things on this plate. That way you don't have to drill inside of your kayak if you don't want to. Right here you have your locks. This is where your drive is gonna lock in. And by the way, if I miss anything, if there's something you guys want to ask or want me to go in further detail on, just drop a comment below and I'll be happy to do that. On either side of the kayak you have some storage for some Plano boxes. Of course, you're gonna have your scupper holes right here. On either side of the kayak you have some plates where you can load in some track mounted accessories. You can even drill into this place, and these days a lot of these kayak manufacturers are doing these types of plates like this, where they're making it so you don't have to actually drill into the hull of your kayak. When I first started kayak fishing, you had to just drill into your kayak. You had to use, you know, your silicone and seal it off, but more and more we're starting to see these plates all alongside kayak. Now I will say, before I move on to the rest of this kayak, one thing that I would love to see, now this isn't a big deal, but I'd love to see it happen on this kayak right here, is for this track, this rail right here, to actually go all the way through. So right now they just got these two little sections. I'd like to see that go all the way through, and I'll show you why in just a minute when we go to rig this kayak. Right here you have your rudder control, so you can mess with the tension right here. If you need a little looser, you need it a little tighter, you can do that. Paddle holder, pretty standard. You've got two rod holders in the back, 1 and 2 right here, and these are angled rod holders, so they're gonna go away from you as you're sitting in your seat. Let me back up real quick and move to the seat for just a moment. Now this seat, you can see it's kind of got like this, you know, this circular shape right here, and it goes in these molded in kind of track areas. All right, so to adjust this seat is pretty easy. You just pull up on this tab and you move it forward, all the way forward, or you can move it back if you want. I haven't yet been on this kayak right here. I did test drive this kayak at ICAST last year, but I haven't fished on this, so I'm gonna have to figure out the exact, you know, placement for me. You have storage underneath your seat. Right now I just have a tackle box. If you unclip these clips right here, you'll be able to open up this hatch right here. I already had the lid off right here, and this is where the battery lives for the motor in this kayak. We got a really deep well right here, so I mean you can put a lot of gear. It's really deep. You don't have to worry about anything falling off, which is nice. You have your rudder. If we look underneath this kayak, if you can see, we do have a skid plate right here, which is nice. They went ahead and added that in so you don't have to, but if you really want to play it safe, of course, you can add some more guard down there. There's a bunch of different companies that sell different guards, so you can add that in if you want to. So right here we've got another rod holder. So it looks like, yeah, we've got 3 rod holders on this kayak. 1, 2, and 3 right there, which is plenty of rod holders, you know, for the average guy. Of course, I'm gonna add a crate, and the crate I have has extra rod holders built in. Right over here we have the release for the rudder. So forward is going to make the rudder, you know, not deployed. And then to deploy it, boom. So in, out. Now this was a little bit sticky, so I did take some of this spray right here, and here's a pro tip. There's a stuff called McLube Sail Coat. They use this for sailing, but it's a dry lube, right? So it's great for all this type of stuff. I use it on my drives. This was a little sticky, so I kind of just threw some lube right in there. Boom. We're good to go. You can even lube these controls right in here. This is for the rudder control, left and right. And then these two are to deploy the rudder. So just throw a little bit in there. So keep it nice and good to go. Boom, just like that. I'll put a link to this stuff in the description below. I recommended this stuff to a few buddies, and they reported back that this stuff is awesome for drives, for things like rudder cables and things like that. It's a great little product. So all right, there we go, that's that. And yeah man, pretty straightforward. You got your other track mounts right here. So we're gonna put this seat back, we're gonna get the drive, and I'm gonna show you guys how to connect the batteries and get the drive up and running. Now I wanna pause this walkthrough real quick and just say a big thank you to Canoe Country Outfitters in Tampa Bay, Florida. They're right off 54th Avenue, and you guys know that I'm currently in the middle of a series where I go through all different types of boats, man. Like, I'm not in the Hobies anymore right now. I'm taking a break from that. You guys know I've been in other kayaks, the Pursuits, the New Canoes, the Feel Frees, the Vibes. I've been through a lot of different kayaks over the years, but it's about time I get in some other kayaks, some kayaks I've never fished out of before, and Canoe Country Outfitters is making sure I'm able to do that and making sure I'm able to bring this content and relevant information to you guys, the viewers, the people who are part of Yak Tribe, anybody who comes across this video. You may not be in the Tampa Bay, Florida area, and that's totally okay, but I gotta give props to the homies and to the people that help make this channel happen and provide these types of things so I can make this content, get out there, go fishing, and provide information to you guys. So thank you so much, Canoe Country Outfitters. I appreciate all that you guys are doing. Let's get back to the walkthrough. Okay, so we have the drive right here. This drive sets in right here. Now guys, this isn't the lightest drive in the world. This thing's pretty hefty, so be careful when you're doing this. Lock it in right there. Let me move this pedal. And then you lock it in right here as well. All right, now real quick, to just let you guys know a few safety features this kayak has. This is the kill switch right here. So this motor, it'll always work in manual mode, but you're not going to be able to turn it on and actually use the cruise control on this kayak. And it does have cruise control, which is crazy awesome. Your cruise control, your power, it's not going to work unless this is dropped down. So if you're in the water, and if I remember correctly, guys, I could be a little bit wrong, but if I remember correctly when using this, if this is in motion and you're using the powered feature for this drive, if you lift this out of the water, it should shut off. I believe so. I'll confirm that when we get this kayak on the water. So I'll pull this kayak back just a little bit and I'll show you guys how to drop the drive in. So first, you can just drop it in like this. But what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna lift it and you're gonna wanna drop it in like that. And you're gonna wanna lock it in place. So I've got the battery for this guy. The battery is just going to install right here. It's got a nice little way it gets wired up too. I like it, it's pretty convenient and it's pretty quick. And all we do is take this wire, quick connect, boom. So that's that. Then on this side, we're gonna take this one, make sure it's plugged in here, and we're gonna plug this guy in right here. Just like that. Let's power this guy on. There we go. Got some power. Okay, well guys, that's pretty much this kayak right here. There's not much to it, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna rig it up. Oh, and by the way, you got kind of a dry hatch here, some dry storage. It is sealed. There's a gasket in there, so yeah, you could throw some you know, batteries for your GoPro. Of course, I would still put a dry bag, you know, inside. Put my GoPro batteries in the dry bag and the dry bag in here. Your first aid kit, whatever you want. So we're gonna go ahead, get this guy rigged up. Now, here's what I was talking about when I meant I wish that this thing was all the way through. I really love accessories like this. This is the Railblazer track mount with the starport, but this whole thing, it's not gonna fit in here. If I can get it, hold on. Yeah, this whole thing's not gonna fit in, so this guy is not even gonna really snap into place because it's barely hanging on by a thread. So instead of using that, we're gonna have to use something like this right here. So this is just as good. I mean, I like a wider base, but this is skinnier. This has worked just fine. On my other kayak, I'm able to keep my stakeout pole kind of close like this. So I think what I want to do is install this guy and kind of use it as a holder for my stakeout pole. And I'll just use this kind of as my mud stick. I love pulling around, so I think that will work just fine for me, and I'll kind of leave it resting right there. One thing that I wish this kayak had was more track mounts. I wish it had track mounts here, like flush track mounts. I wish it had it here. Again, here. I wish it had it right here. Of course, you got your place for your power pole right here. I didn't cover that, but that's nice that they already have this molded into the kayak. You just got to get the plate and the power pole, of course, and that's an option. But it'd be nice to have some more tracks right here, so you could do things like this and mount any accessories that you want. I'm gonna grab this guy. This is my Railblazer crate, and in here I just have some basics. First aid kit, baby wipes, gotta have that, some fishing leader, and I'll probably throw some snacks and stuff in there, but we'll get this guy put in. Yeah, that'll be just fine. You can even use these little straps to pull it in there. Of course, for extra safety, you should be going through this box, but you guys know me. Sometimes I just want to get out there. Let's get out there. Anything else that we need? Honestly, with this kayak, you really don't need too many accessories and gadgets and things like that, because it's got plenty of pockets. It's got plenty of like storage and stuff. You really don't need to create more storage other than maybe a little crate if you want. I really don't have too much that I want to do. Like if we were to move over here to my Hobie, I mean, you guys will see here that really all I have on here is my live well, which I was using for tarpon fishing. That will go back up there. But all I'm using on my rails here are just some rod holders. I really don't have too many accessories. I mean, I've got my fish finder right there. So if I do decide to put the fish finder on this kayak, I would mount it right here. But for me, I like to keep most of my stuff clean and clear. If I'm gonna mount any accessories, it's probably gonna be behind me, because the way I fish and skip lures and sight fish and stand up and pull around, I try and keep this pretty close. So basically, the only thing I'll be doing on this kayak is standing up, grabbing this push pulling around, placing this back down, moving to the next spot. Yeah, man, so not much rigging, I guess. That was a little anticlimactic when it comes to the rigging, but I'll throw my my measuring board in there. I'll grab my net. We'll throw this guy in. I have my fishing poles in the car. I've got my pliers. I have my little line cutters, zipper pull cutter to be able to cut my line and do my knots and redo lures and everything like that. Real quick, we'll just check to see the rudder controls and see how good it is. Oh yeah, this was really sticky. I didn't show this. You really don't need to put that there, but I did. This was pretty tough actually to pull. I did throw some spray in here. Maybe I did show you guys, but just a little trick. Turn it to the left, spray. Obviously this is too much now. I've sprayed too much, so I'm wasting this. Turn it to the right, spray, boom. Maybe up in there. Yeah, you're good. Man, but this stuff is great. I love this stuff so much, and it lasts a long time. You really don't have to keep applying it, but look how smooth. Look how smooth that is now. So look guys, this wasn't a fancy schmancy, you know, mic'd up review like I do on some of my other stuff. I'm just excited to go fishing, excited to use this thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you have any questions on the ins and outs of this boat, please feel free to drop me a comment in the description below. If this is on YouTube especially, I really do my best to respond to all the comments. The next thing we're gonna do, the next video you see on this kayak and hopefully on this channel, is me taking this thing out, showing you guys how it pedals, how it paddles, how it push poles, and just get a feel for this kayak. You guys know, if you watch my fishing videos for any amount of time, that I love sight fishing. I love push poling around, so it's important to me that if a kayak is gonna be like this, first of all, if it's gonna be this big with this much stuff and all these accessories and everything, it's gotta accomplish what I wanna do. So it has to be a sight fishing machine. It's gotta be able to track well, it's gotta be able to drift well in the wind, which it gets windy here in Florida, especially during rainy season as well. And it has to be able to push pole well. So the next video you see will be me with this thing on the water, seeing how it performs and hopefully catching a fish.